times like this when I feel it's a blessing, but it's a burden being a reverend during a crisis as big as the one we're experiencing in our community. Now, I didn't choose this path. This path chose me. As the founder, pastor, spiritual advisor of the fastest growing church in Northwest Fulton County, Atlanta, Georgia. But I feel the burden. Deny it to a king? Well, happy low, lie down, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. So I'm feeling it, but I'm in a position to give advice. And as someone who's gotten too close to the fire, I also can give some advice on this crisis. So let me tell you, you're probably worried about your friends, your family, your community. Hell, you might be worried about this republic. And of course, I'm talking about MoFi Gate, sweeping the country, the world by this point, shaking the foundation of the audiophile community. How mobile Fidelity masters their product, source tape, digital, etc. And look, people are asking the right questions. People are asking for transparency. But let me just give you a little advice as someone who's seen a little behind the curtain. Be careful. Be careful. People might go to jail. Mike from the in-groove shooting his mouth off. He could go to jail. And let me give you a little advice. I like your channel. I like your store. I've seen families ripped apart by mobile Fidelity for ordering more than one step per household on releases. Over a Santana record. People dragged out of their houses in the middle of the night for ordering 2. So, let me tell you, you guys can ask all the questions you want, but don't get too close. The powers behind that don't answer to anyone but the highest intelligence agencies of this nation. So, it's times like this also that, yeah, I haven't been a fan of the last couple of years of MoFi and some of their releases. A little over the boxes, to be honest with you. But that's why I'm so excited when I think about Ice Castles getting the UHQR treatment, both in mono and stereo, maybe quadraphonic. Chatty Cakes, he's where it's at, man. He's transparent. And yeah, I'm a little worried that from what I hear, they're doing 85,000 copies of this in its first pressing. I'm not sure how they're doing that. But if anyone's going to be honest, it's old Chatty Cakes. So I'm just blessed on that aspect because I've dedicated my life to that project. So anyways, that's my opening statement. And let's get on to the world famous light rotation. You can tell I feel better. You know, I had to get that off my chest. Thank you so much. I will say one more thing about MoFi Gate. If you're running a music or vinyl channel, I don't care if you're Melon, I don't care if you're reviewing jazz albums, okay? You need to make a statement on this. If you comment on videos, if you're in the peanut gallery on the streams, we need to know where you stand on MoFi Gate, okay? It's the right thing to do. It's the moral thing to do. And I'm not saying you have to, but it will just be noted if you don't. So, I'm also feeling good because I got my lettuce cut. I got a new barber. I feel like he made it. I got my chiclets banged on. My teeth feel great. My lettuce is great. Let me tell you, it's a little bit of a Michael 45 RPM. It feels a little too tonic, but my lady friend likes it. That's all that counts. And my new barber's from Stockholm, and He was a DJ. No shit. He was a DJ during like the peak house music scene in Manchester. He's got stories. I should interview him. All right, let's get to light rotation, world famous light rotation. Now, as you know, at the Church of Elvis Seymour Latter-day Saints, which I'm the founder, pastor, spiritual advisor of, we don't believe in heavy rotation, or as I call it, big heavy rotation. It's a lobby. Okay, these people do these videos, oh, my heavy rotation, oh, God, I can't take this off my table, oh my God. You only have so many hours in a day, dude. At the end of heavy rotation, they're always selling something, man. They're always like, oh, do you want to buy it? And it's like, maybe VG, and you totally get smoked. And that's why light rotation is the way to go. I invented it, and you feel more a part of your collection, okay? Your collection feels more a part of you. You're getting through records, you're listening to all kinds of stuff, and no one's trying to BS you, man, all right? So try light rotation. Now, if you've been following my Instagram channel, and I know you have, you've been noticed we've been vibing. We've been vibing from Japanese ambient music, European ambient, North American ambient. Now, I use ambient music to reach different levels of consciousness. And I would say I've experienced at least six and a half levels of consciousness. Music, you can reach different levels, okay? Meditation, art, a new fabric softener, okay? I just learned from my friend John, you can smoke Monster drink. Yeah, smoke it. I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying you shouldn't. You'll probably end up in the ER, but you will achieve a different level of consciousness nonetheless. But we're not condoning it. Now, what have I been listening to? What have I been vibing to? Here's a little bit of a classic. Harold Budd, Pavilion of Dreams. I love this one for so many. This is, I think, a reissue from 2019. I can't recommend a pressing. Definitely not on obscure records. Now, I don't do any research, as you can tell, before I do light rotation. I think recorded in 76, not released till 78. I know we lost Harold Budd in 2020. It's in his 80s. But what I love about this is a man that came from jazz. He was a jazz drummer, hipped a lot of guys. When he got out of the Army, and he played with some amazing musicians, he wanted to go in more of the experimental side. That's what he was digging. That's what he noticed that he wanted to be a part of. And why I like this is for a couple of reasons. One, it's beautiful. It's not perfect, but it was a sign of amazing things to come, like the Pearl and other things that people are more familiar with. But produced by Brian Eno, to be recording this in New York when rock and roll is being turned up inside its head with punk rock, starting as fast as it will burn out in the early 80s. To think that he was recording this tranquil, soft, beautiful, siren voices, just absolutely gorgeous album during that time is incredible. And how hardcore New York was in the late 70s, mid 70s. And to think he was doing this was just like so against the stream. I love that. It's also the last time, for the most part, until maybe the 80s, where the machine started to take over. This is more organic. This uses human voices. This is more in the Stephen Reich world. Saxophone, wind instruments, strings. There's not synthesizers going on here. Electric piano. So it's kind of that last point in time where we're creating this ambient music before he goes on to do more with Eno, using real instruments, organic, analog. And I like that. Not to say that the other stuff isn't great. It's brilliant. But I kind of like that about this, that this is kind of a starting point and an end point at the same time. Harold Budd, The Pavilion of Dreams. I can't recommend a pressing, to be honest with you. So just stream it. I've also been listening to Midoriya Takeda, not to be confused with Takeda Pharmaceuticals, Through the Looking Glass. She's a percussionist. This is a reissue. The originals are a fortune. It came out in 1983, Japan. She's a percussionist. This was her first solo work. She had been on other albums, but these are her compositions. And this reissue's done by We Release Whatever the F We Want, a European label. And they just released 2 new works by her that I'm going to talk about later on a different video. But this is an oldie but goodie. And look, I played this for a few people that I was trying to vibe with, and they're like, dude, like the first 10 minutes sounds like the Rainforest Cafe. And I was like, first of all, whatever. And second of all, what the hell is wrong with the Rainforest Cafe? You elitists. You could go to the Rainforest Cafe and vibe out with their amazing music and crush a Coors Light and have some exotic chicken fingers, all right? It's safer. Go to the real Amazon, see what happens, dude. No one comes back. No one. You go down there, you're cruising down the Amazon, some rare frog bites you, 4 hours later, your freaking finger falls off and you're illiterate. Why would you want to do that to yourself? Go to the Rainforest Cafe. Look, I don't see Hooters making cutting edge ambient minimalist music like the Rainforest Cafe. Now, if Hooters decided that they wanted to work with Brian Eno, yeah, I'm all ears. It'd probably be better than the shit he did with Coldplay. But that's not what's going on, so don't knock it. So after about 10 minutes, the percussion kicks in, the vibes kick in. Okay, she recorded 4 compositions on 4 different tracks and combined them. And you do start to feel the Philip Glass and the Stephen Reich vibe on this record. And it's awesome. It's novel, but you feel its influences. And I think you'll really like it. Okay? What else have I been listening to? Okay, this one is in honor of Brother Brian. The very first time I got onto the vinyl community, music community on YouTube, the first person I watched was a live stream of Brother Brian and just a cast of characters that were on it with him. And he kept yelling at Mazzy about Vivaldi, how dark Vivaldi was. And dude, I was losing it. It was the funniest thing I've ever heard. So I played some Vivaldi. And now this is a concertos with organ. I don't know anything about classical music. I have a lot of classical music where I'll get it somehow and I won't listen to it for like a year. And it's like the dog shaded, or the dog has got one paw up in the air. I know a lot of the tricks on one to pick out. This is Deutsche Grammophon, German pressing from the late 70s. It's not great, but it's cool. It's cool background music, and I enjoyed it. And I like the organ. When I read the linear notes for the first time, and they really they kind of dog on Vivaldi being garbage with organ compositions. Yet they put this out. The guy ragged on him for like 3 paragraphs. It's really weird. Now, this one a lot of people I think got. Duke Ellington meets Coleman Hawkins. First of all, Chatty Cakes, did he make these bigger? These are like bigger. They don't fit my normal, like I don't use crazy sleeves or whatever, but they're not fitting. I had to use an old sleeve to fit this. I feel like these are bigger. But anyways, I love this record. I've never had a decent copy. I believe I have it on CD or had it on CD. It sounds incredible. Now we're talking about Chad and MoFi and so forth. Chad is knocking it out of the park. This has been an incredible series. And there's been a lot of jaded comments on some of the blogs about, none of these are special. Shut up. It's great to be able to have this amazing copy of this. And I went back and I told Putterman that I didn't like the Duke Ellington and John Coltrane record all that much. So I went back and I bought the Acoustic Sounds version because my version wasn't all that great. And you know what? This is amazing. I'm an idiot. This is absolutely fantastic. It was cool to listen to those back to back. Also, King Cruel. I love King Cruel. This is from like 2013. He's like had a quiet career. 6 Feet Under the Moon. I just think this guy, everything, ginger, baritone, jazz, no wave, hip hop, everything. This guy smashes everything together, and he's like this neo beatnik who he's just, I dig him. I wish he was more productive. I think he's got a family now, and that's probably like, you know, what he's doing. His last release, I think like I feel like half the record is good and the other half he just mailed it in. But it's cool to go back. This is his first full-length record, I think. I love King Cruel, so I've been listening to a lot of King Cruel. So that's it, quick light rotation. I hope you had fun watching this video, and I hope that you're feeling better after watching this, and I was able to take you away from MoFi Gate just for a little bit. Take care.